For Project 6, we will take a look at how we have become more diverse.
In visual and media literacy because of taking MEDT 7490. Project 6 derived from creating a professional development course for Project 4. Applying those course directions into the client's classroom while collecting data to correlate reading comprehension to visual and media literacy for Project 5. The journey of teaching and learning through visual and media literacy began through Project 1. Project 1 began with finding images that exhibit the elements and principles of design through visual and media literacy. Project 2 began with us thinking about how to create a professional development course for adult learners. The course must include visual and media literacy tools, elements, principles, and applications to complete the strategies for the course. For Project 2, we created mind maps to help us visualize how visual and media literacy is used in everyday design. For Project 3, we created a video about how visual and media literacy is everywhere. According to George Lucas, the creator of the Star Wars movies, if students aren't taught the language of sound and images, shouldn't they be considered as illiterate as if they left college without being able to read or write? In today's classroom, there are diverse learners all around. Media literacy is everywhere. The Center for Media Literacy says teaching media literacy skills to young people helps them acquire an empowering set of navigational skills that enable them to do the following: access information from a variety of sources, analyze and explore how messages are constructed, whether it be print, verbal, visual, or multimedia, evaluate media's explicit and implicit messages against one's own ethical, moral, and/or democratic principles, and express or create their own messages using a variety of media tools. As an educator, it is vital for us to incorporate visual media into our everyday lessons and curriculum. It is vital for all of our diverse learners and also for students who have trouble understanding a certain curriculum area. George Lucas is living proof of how digital and media literacy can affect everyday learners. By incorporating digital and media literacy into our classrooms, we are showing students how to be critical thinkers on a rigorous level. Project 4 began with developing a professional development course. The professional development course audience was adult educators. Reading comprehension is a hard concept for young fluent readers to develop proficiently. However, visual and media literacy can help curb the deficit through AR, Kahoot, and Read Theory. Project 5 was all about collecting data for the professional development course. Through the workshop, we collected quantitative and qualitative data in correspondence to the development course. The project began with me discussing what subject area my client's students were struggling with. We were in agreement that reading comprehension is lacking in all subject areas, and that visual and media literacy can have a positive influence on student achievement. After incorporating the professional development course with the students, we began collecting quantitative and qualitative data for Project 5. The data supported that visual and media literacy had a positive influence on reading comprehension. The data collected for Project 5 determined that visual and media literacy encouraged reading comprehension for struggling readers. The client's students enjoyed using Accelerated Reader to collect points and track their grade average. This program also helped the client track data for the RTI process. Next, the Kahoot tool provided information about student involvement and how the students were excited to be involved. The only downfall of Kahoot was having enough resources to complete the game. Lastly, Read Theory was used to create differentiation based on student needs. This was good for the client's TEKS review and broke data down based on reading levels. There are two types of data that need to be collected to make this workshop better accommodate the client. The first is qualitative data. This data will describe which of the programs worked best for the client. The qualitative data will also tell what flaws each program comes aligned with. The quantitative data will tell how visual and media literacy can improve student comprehension. Both of these data types are important and imperative to make the workshop successful. Visual and media literacy had a positive impact on reading comprehension. Students who struggle with reading comprehension
usually have another literacy struggle.
However, that can be changed with visual and media literacy. When students utilize an interactive literacy tool, they become engaged and more productive with comprehension. Overall, the client spoke highly of the developmental workshop. The client enjoyed how reading comprehension was incorporated through visual and media literacy and how students respond to technology. The client enjoyed each tool for different reasons. The tool the client incorporated the most into their classroom was Accelerated Reader. Accelerated Reader is geared toward reading comprehension and helps the instructor determine what books are aligned with each reader's book level. The downfall to Accelerated Reader is the price. If the school does not provide this accommodation, it is nearly impossible to utilize in the classroom. It is an $8,500 program. Next, the client enjoyed Read Theory because it allowed depth of knowledge questions to be selected based on differentiated needs of the students. The downfall to Read Theory is its use for teachers. It is more complicated for students to use. The last video media literacy tool that was used is Kahoot. The client enjoyed the response from students about Kahoot. The students were really engaged and forgot they were learning. The negative side to Kahoot was having enough resources for all students to participate. There are a number of ways the information can be redesigned and incorporated into a better professional workshop. One way I would implement ease on the client is a table. The table would be designed to show each tool and how to utilize the tool's components. This would allow the client to see with ease what reading comprehension lesson they want to use. As previously stated, reading comprehension has a lot of components within itself. By breaking these components into sections, the client can choose what VML tool works best for their specific reading comprehension needs. Not many challenges were faced when completing Project 6. I took a class at West Georgia in the fall of 2004. That class taught me about creating a storyboard and instructional videos. The most difficult part was determining whether to use still images or video. The main lesson that I learned when creating Project 6's video was to make sure that I used a variety of information to keep my audience entertained. When you create such a long instructional video, sometimes your audience will get bored. To keep them entertained, you could dress yourself out of the norm or use props. The best advice I can give about completing Project 6 is making sure you are comfortable with the movie making tool. iMovie was the easiest tool for me because it incorporates background, music, and transitions. If you're not familiar with a video making tool, completing this project is impossible. I am extremely happy to have Project 6 complete. This project, along with Projects 4 and 5, taught me how to create a professional development course. Professional development is something that I would like to do later in my career. The professional development course lacked in certain areas. However, I look forward to completing more that are more proficient.